Let's go into the headlines now, see what the papers are saying this morning. And to make sense of all of these, I have with me some of our regulars. Dare Dufooko is a journalist, is here with us. Dare, good morning. Nice to see you.
Good morning.
And Ify Onyegbule is here, broadcast journalist as well. Ify, it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
In fact, we're arranging for Ashwebi now to come and celebrate.
Oh my God.
I've been waiting for the invitation.
No, of course. They're printing it. Okay. They're printing the invitation.
Printing her name on the Ashwebi.
No, of course. Even her face will be on the.
Mike, I thought we're playing down on.
No, we are working together. We're working together. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now the point there is, we need to celebrate people like you who, as broadcast journalists who are doing great in the space that you find yourself and being recognized back home as given more responsibility and all of that. It's a great thing. And I also feel that's an inspiration to a lot of female broadcasters out there as well, and even to the rest of us.
Yes, it's just about just do the right thing, do your job, and when the time comes, that name will be mentioned
exactly. But we will still arrange that, Shrebisha. All right, let's get into the papers now. Daily Independent is where we start from. Zulum to federal government. Seek foreign support to end insurgency. Seek foreign support to end insurgency. That's a governor of Borno State saying to the federal government. Asks government to hire mercenaries and persecute terrorists. All right, that's a Daily Independent. Blueprint newspaper is next. And it says, Zulum on Boko Haram, de-radicalized fighters spying on communities, rejoin group. Says de-radicalization initiative has failed. Warns mercenaries engaged to end insurgency. This is really troubling. We'll talk about this as we get along. Then the Leadership newspaper is next. And Leadership says, should anyone found with AK-47, PMB orders security agencies extend no-fly zone order to Benue, Taraba, Borno, and the ACF tells federal government. That's telling federal government to extend the no-fly zone to Benue, to Taraba, and Borno states. Zulum insists on mercenaries to end insecurity. We've failed if we can't secure lives. Governor Mohammed is saying this. All right. Shoot anyone found with AK-47. President Muhammadu Buhari orders security agencies. We'll talk about this as we get along. Daily Times is next. Traders bemoan billions lost as food blockade of South ends. Traders bemoan billions lost as food blockade of South ends. All right. That's the Daily Times there. Recall that this was on the papers a few days ago. Business Day is next. Business Day says demand in Morocco seals $1.4 billion deal for Nigerian gas. Demand in Morocco seals $1.4 billion deal for Nigerian gas as NNPC seeks equity stakes in joint venture company. All right, that's Business Day. National Economy is next, and it says depleting external reserves. $1.4 billion drop in 1 month again exposes Nigeria's fragile export base. Okay, that's National Economy. The Punch newspaper is next, and it says federal government commissioners meet over sharing of 3.9 million vaccine doses today. Federal government commissioners meet over sharing of 3.9 million vaccine doses today. Kano expects 155,000 doses. Delta plans to vaccinate 3 million residents. We've received our consignment. Edu is saying this. No state has received allocation. Agency is saying this. And we will know our allocation at Thursday's meeting, says Plateau Commissioner. So there seems to be a scramble for the vaccines already from various states. All right. That's the Punch newspaper. News Direct is next, and it says Zamfara banditry. Buhari orders security agents to shoot civilians with AK-47 rifles. Alleges arms for gold exchange in Zamfara state, which was one of the reasons they had to, the president declared a no-fly zone around Zamfara from the reports that we got. That's the News Direct. Let's go to the Nation newspaper. Presidency. Bandits carrying AK-47 to be shot on sight. Bandits carrying AK-47 to be shot on sight. Choppers ferry weapons, food to bandits in Zamfara state. why federal government declared no-fly zone in state. And the ACF, that's Arewa Consultative Forum, calls for extension of action to Borno, Benue, and Taraba. All right, that's the Nation newspaper. The Vanguard is next. Vanguard newspaper says, shoot anyone with AK-47 in the bushes. Buhari is ordering this. Shoot anyone with AK-47 in the bushes. No commitment to end insurgency, Northeast governors lament. Ask federal government to seek external help, engage mercenaries. Proposed local joint security outfit, say terrorists subject Maiduguri to total darkness for 7 weeks. We want state police, Bauchi governor says. And extend no-fly zone to Benue, Taraba, Borno, the Arewa Consultative Forum says. And says choppers also drop arms for bandits, insurgents in these states. Really troubling issues around there. From there, let's go this day. Buhari orders security agents to shoot illegal weapons bearers. Northeast governors plan regional security outfits to combat rising insecurity. Extend flight ban to Benue. Others, ACF urges Buhari a no-fly zone employed to declare state of emergency in Zamfara State, says PDP. Okay, that's this day. Daily Trust. 101 soldiers abscond after Marte Dikwa attacks. That's in Borno State. Army freezes accounts, launches manhunt. De-radicalized Boko Haram fighters pick up arms again. Governor Zulum is saying this. Northeast governors mold regional security outfit. Okay, that's a Daily Trust. Then let's go to Guardian, which is the last one we're looking at now. Buckle up on food production. Experts warn South governors. Buckle up on food production. Experts warn South governors. If tiny Israel could feed self, why not Southeast? Well, the point there is Nigeria is one, so everyone should just buckle up. I think we prospered very much in the First Republic when the North, South, East, West, everyone was busy producing what they have comparative advantage. So I believe that's the way to go. All right, let's get into this issue now. Dari and Ifi, the order, decisive order from the president. Shoot anyone found with AK-47 in the bushes. How does this come to you, Dari? Let me start with you here.
Let me say better late than never. That's just the best way I can describe it. I'm not elated by the news. I'm not.
Why not?
Because
we've been saying
the government that should have been done years ago. You see, the more we continue to treat issues that should be addressed urgently with levity, with some form of disdain, we encourage the perpetrators. The debate over whether or not herdsmen should carry AK-47, I said here, was needless. There are rules in this country. If you must carry arms, you have to be licensed. We all know that the majority of these people were not licensed. And if you are licensing them, how and why? Why would you want to license an herdsman to protect his cow, and you will not license a farmer to protect his farm? That is giving undue advantage to a party in a crisis. And when a party in a crisis enjoys undue advantage, he will ride roughshod over the other parties. We allowed that to fester. We allowed the herdsmen to have this feeling that they are entitled to carry arms, while others are not. So if Mr. President is now saying, shoot anyone found with AK-47, it is a good development, but a very, very late development. It will take time to round up those who have AK-47 now and disarm them. It will take time to reorientate them that you aren't entitled to own this. And beyond AK-47, come into the streets of our cities, you find people who believed very strongly that it is their right to tie dagger on their hands like this. A policeman searches a young man, finds a table knife in his pocket, and is taken to the police station for possession of arm. But a policeman searches an Okada rider from the north in Lagos, and is found with a dagger tied on his hand here, and is allowed to go. And somebody raised an issue. I am telling you something I witnessed personally. It is not, I'm not assuming. And we said, but his arm, they said that is cultural. It is tradition to him. That's the way their people dress. It's part of his dressing. A sharp dagger. What happens when he gets into a fisticuff or an argument with somebody? He will remember that he's got that cultural attire somewhere, and he can deploy it to any dangerous use. So moving from AK-47, fine. Let's move to all other things that confer undue advantage on some people, which they can deploy in a fight, in an argument, in a fisticuff against others who do not enjoy such cultural I don't know what to call it.
Entitlement.
Entitlement. Thank you, Ify.
You see, that actually must come out.
Oh, no,
all right, now, Ify, the point there is, the president has made this statement now, which is really decisive.
Very welcome.
Really very decisive. But it is one thing to say shoot them at sight. It is another thing to actually hunt for these people, find out wherever they are, go there and either disarm them or shoot, as the case may be.
As the president has given that order. Yes, he's giving the order. I'm sure you also agree with me that these persons, the characters we're talking about, are even well informed. When you talk about getting information, they probably have an idea or had an idea what it was that the president was going to come up with to say, wherever you find these human beings who have AK-47, take them out as it is. Don't you think that they will begin to devise other means? So I think this is a welcome development. Dari has pretty much said, you know, most of the things that every right-thinking Nigerian will say at this time. But we need to go beyond, you know, following that order of shooting people on sight because you see them with AK-47. Are you sure we've not given a blanket, you know, order now, and innocent persons will now fall prey to all of these? Then you put a gun or an AK-47 besides them after you've shot them. So just the way that everyone wakes up in the morning, something happens, you say, they are Fulani headsmen. Now, what are you going to say to me? You find somebody somewhere, you shoot them, we'll find an AK-47 there, and you say, because you got that order. So we've got to be careful as we carry this out.
Because sometimes there could be high-handedness from agents sometimes too, where innocent people could be. But the point there is, I know the security agents are professional enough to know the difference between...
And I'm glad that the president has decided to... You know, we're always shouting on every platform, wake up, wake up, wake up. The man is up now, and he has given that order. Let's hope that this would, you know, curb the madness that's been going on as it is. Look at what it was down here, even though not many people felt it, you know, when they had to cut off the supply of cows, meat, and all of that. But we need to understand that what affects one will definitely, it's like oil touching one finger.
It's one nation and one country.
And we need to find a way to live together. But if we cannot live together, I think we need to take a look at that issue of restructuring again.
No, the point there is we can live together. We've lived together before. We'll keep living together. That's just the thing. Yes, we've enjoyed living together before. That's the formula for living together.
Let's find that formula.
No, but the point there is
we should find a way of living together.
We just have to.
A way of living together where everybody will feel that sense of belonging. A way of living together where we will banish the thought of ever going our separate ways. Because if we continue to manage to live together, we'll keep thinking about the alternatives. But if we find that formula which I think is what we should look for.
The point is, that's why I said we have had it before. In the First Republic,
so what happened along the line?
So the military, of course, it was the military that
so do we have to keep crying over spilled milk?
No,
until we get it right, we'll keep trying.
Yeah, the issue there is the elders now who understand the DNA of this country, who even enjoyed Nigeria at that time, we still have them here. They know what the formula is.
Yeah, they should come out with that formula.
Yes, they will.
Make it popular and acceptable to all.
Let's go back to the issue of security now. Okay. One of the headlines that is really troubling is from Borno State. The governor is saying that the radicalized Boko Haram members whom have been reunited or reintegrated, repentant, who have been reintegrated into the society. Some of them are spying on communities and some of them are going back into where they are coming from. Recall that Senator Aline Dume from Borno State had stood vehemently against this issue of the radicalization and then the amnesty to those guys and reintegrate. He has been against this. Now, I guess this seems to be confirming his fears, Dari.
Ndume, Zulu, they are in the theater of these happenings. You see,
so they understand.
They are part and parcel of those feeling the heat. They know the people involved in these atrocities. They know the effect of these atrocities on the people. And when you came up and said, we want to de-radicalize, they offered honest opinions. That, look, this has gone beyond this. But we didn't listen. The culture of job for the boys must stop. You see, yes, we must start to de-radicalize. Yes, we must give back to them, reintegrate them into society. Some people saw opportunities to be engaged, and they encouraged it. But those who understand what was happening saw beyond mere opportunities to give palliatives. And they said, look, this won't work. I remember very well that Ndume naturally almost became a man left alone to his fate. He was like a lone voice, especially from the northeast, saying, look, these boys cannot be wished out of what they are doing just in that manner. You are just wishing they will leave militancy. You are wishing they will leave insurgency by offering them peanuts. That to them...
And forgiving them their sins.
They don't... I remember him saying first, they don't believe they are sinning. They don't believe they are doing anything wrong. That this is entrenched. And until you uproot it and make them defenseless, they will always believe they have options. This is exactly what we are saying. Now some of them came in an RNG, what I've been calling RNG repentance. They came and said, we are repented. Then you offered them all what's not. And you release them into the society. And then now, not only are we being told, we are seeing the effect of the fact that they are now working with their assumed former colleagues. Because they are still colleagues. They are not former colleagues, but they are still colleagues. What do they do now? According to the governor, who should know? He said they spy on the communities and tell Boko Haram when to strike. And when you come as military men, you see them, they tell you, no, they are repentant, this. You are bound by your promises and pledges to let them be. The community too became less cautious of them. They allowed them into their affairs. And then they pay the huge prices when Boko Haram come and bombard them. What do we make of all this? We should stop treating criminality with kid's glove. These ones are criminals. If, when they come back, you round them up and jail them accordingly, have them tried and jailed for offenses committed against the nation and humanity, you will not be encouraging younger ones. You know the idea over there? You go there, do Boko Haram for some time, come back repented, and you are taken back into society. But if they know that the price of engaging in such thing is death or life imprisonment, nobody, even when offered, they will reject it.
All right.
But until we get to treat these things for what they really are and stop offering forgiveness to those who do not believe they've offended, then we won't get this thing done properly.
All right, the sheikh who was helping to mediate between the government and the bandits, in one of the interviews he granted, said that they should not be called criminals.
They should be given blanket amnesty.
Because the point there is, if you call them criminals, you're not encouraging them to drop arms and things like that.
And at the end of the day, he called journalists criminals.
So the point there is, what do you make of a situation like that where we have to dialogue with bandits, dialogue with all the elements?
Kidnappers.
Recall that, in fact, the former governor of Zamfara State, at one time or the other, had granted amnesty to bandits and said, okay, we're not going to have this again, struck some level of understanding, but here we are. We're still talking about banditry in those states and all of that. So the dialogue formula, is it working?
It sounds cranky to my ears to hear that we're dialoguing with criminals as it is.
The sheikh say you shouldn't call
and no
them
apologies to the sheikh for crying out loud. He needs to check out the definition, the dictionary meaning of the word criminal. As I was listening to Dari, he was talking about, trying people and all that. What does the Constitution or what does the law say about anyone who has killed someone else? It is clear. Why don't you send the right message to people who are troubling Nigeria? I don't understand it. When we talk, people begin to call the militants in the Niger Delta. Those ones, remember, they came out, they had a cause. This is why we have a problem with the government. Now you're talking to these bandits or insurgents or Boko Haram members. What do you want? You go to pick children. You go take men from their homes, you capture them, and just quickly, enlist them into what exactly do you want? They've not been able to say it. So what I'm saying is, I don't think it is right to discuss or have any meeting or dialogue with bandits as it is. They need to be treated the way they treat other people. That's the truth. How do you take people's children? We have a Leah Sharibu that's been away for God knows how long. She has parents, she has siblings, she has family members who have no idea where she is. Then somebody comes back, he drops his arm, you welcome him with open hands. We hear you're even trying to fly some abroad to go train them. You're integrating them back into the society. Who does that? And that's why we'll have that part of the country lagging behind in so many things.
Recall that the girls that were, abducted and just been, rescued or released, depending on what happened.
And they all come out looking so...
Some of them said that those bandits were threatening to rape them, trying to kill them, told them to marry them, as the case may be, and they saw different things. They were not given food.
One of them even saw his father in captivity,
who was captured some time ago. They saw body parts all over the place. So you can imagine how the children or the girls were traumatized.
Even now they will still be traumatized.
And what we do is bring them out. Someone says, how do they get all the ashwebi that they wear? Do you understand?
No.
They're all looking...
I read that somewhere.
Excuse me.
It will not play down what they went through.
I'm talking.
You see,
I'm talking. It's my time, Darren. I'm talking.
Let's play down.
We're not playing down on that. What I'm trying to say, you let me land. Let me die before you bury me, right?
You won't die.
When they come out, you just talked about them being traumatized.
Yes.
But what we're interested in here is to make them look nice just for television, which is where I'm going. You're supposed to have people who will go into the heads of these children, find a way to debrief them from what it is that they've seen. That's what I'm trying to say.
I believe that will be done.
Do you understand? I think that's what we should do.
Yeah, I agree with you.
We need to do the right thing because these are children. You've just talked about what they've seen. Someone sees her father who was kidnapped, then she too the same place
and came back home.
And she left the father and came back home.
The trauma.
Now, how can that girl come out of that? We just need to do the right thing. That's the truth. Because if you leave this, it will continue to fester. And I'm not sure we understand where it is we're going.
All right, Dari, your final point before we go.
Well, if I strongly believe that someday we'll get out of what we are, the situation we find ourselves. However, we must, like if he said, continue to get it right, even if it is in piecemeal. if we continue moving forward, then there will be hope. But if we move 3 steps forward, 10 backward each time, even you and I will become traumatized. Not only these children, because every day you hear that children are being kidnapped. And then, as Nigerians, we must learn that there are better ways of protesting. I disagree with Ife when she said the people in the Niger Delta had the reasons. Whatever your reason is, once you take up arms against your nation, you should be treated as a criminal. We laid the foundation for this crisis when we started amnesty in the Niger Delta. That was what encouraged
others another
to
kettle of fish.
There is no difference. Well, they took arms up against their nation. They should be treated as criminals.
Well, they were treated as criminals.
No, eventually they were treated as heroes, flown abroad.
They were treated as criminals.
That was where we started this. Well, the people in the north also felt that give us the same treatment. I tell you tomorrow, some people in the west will feel the same way. Let us treat criminalities as criminalities.
It's all right.
Agitation is quite a different kettle of fish. There are ways to agitate without taking up arms against other people. Once your agitation begins to lead to bloodshed and the loss of life of fellow citizens, there is no reason why anybody should dialogue with you. You've crossed the line.
All right, let's leave it there. We look forward to, like you said, someday we hope that Nigeria will go back to, that peaceful, prosperous nation that is respected across the world. We've been there before. The green passport used to be one of the most respected, and we look forward to. We need to
get to that stage, not with Nigeria's pride, who's holding sway now at the WTO.
No, of course, and
those are the kind of things that we need for Nigeria to be mentioned on the world stage.
It's really inspiring. People like that, and even Akume Additional at the Africa Development Bank, they're all doing Nigeria proud one way or the other. Let's leave it here now. If you're able, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Honorable.
Thank you. Honorable, yeah. The Ashrabi will still make it.